Are we going?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're ready.
Cool. DIY Tuesday. How to make an Emily. One 20-year-old, 500 milligrams of Seroquel, 19 years of assimilation, 15 years of wanting to be white, 16 years of body dysmorphia, 17 years of binge eating, 16 years of undiagnosed pain, 2 mental health disorders, 1 dictionary, 1 thesaurus, 12 years of miserable math classes, 2 immigrant parents from China, 1 daily existential crisis, 7 blowtorch tarts, 2 dozen unresolved daddy issues, 2 vinyl records, 40 lighters in my lungs, 1 unused joint, 1 empty bottle of bright rum, 3 shoeboxes of what once was, 2 handfuls of artistic insomnia, 4 empty pill bottles, 6 summer trips to China, 2 playlists for him, 40 plus playlists just for me, 2.5 cups of abused I love yous, 1 empty beer bottle, 7 nights in beds that do not smell of him, 1 realization that you take the same medication as your grandmother, 4 dozen dances to the sunrise, 30 plus long lingering sighs. 25 dozen sorries that you'll never hear, 4 flights of stairs, 1 campus full of succulents, 30 days inside a psychiatric ward, and an infinite amount of immortalized moments collected over the span of 1 intoxicated weekend. I think I have like issues of people leaving, and I think I have issues of that myself. So I think my love for art comes from the fact that art will never leave me. Sometimes I get these ideas that are, I always say they're kind of like wrinkles on my mind, and then when I get the chance to write it out, it's like ironing out all the wrinkles. Well, the hope is that like art can always hearken difficult conversations, and I think that anyone who has the opportunity to grab a hold of a mic or have a spotlight on them can in some way evoke attention to something that's not usually talked about. And in my own work, I know that when the shootings and all the devastation that happened with Charlottesville happened, I did a piece about that, and that was one of my first pieces that reached like an audience of hundreds, which is like not a lot, I know, for social media, but for like if you're in the poetry community on Instagram or if you're just doing poetry online, like it's still pretty cool. I remember like feeling kind of like an obligation to shed light on it because it just keeps happening, and like with any kind of violence or any kind of oppression, like it repeats itself, and like I think patterns like that should be called out, and I think artists do have some kind of, I would hope all artists feel that they have social responsibility in some way or another. I don't know if I'm proud of it. I make it and sometimes I share it, but I never go into it with the intention of being proud of it. It's honestly more just because I'm like chemically imbalanced and I'm depressed and I'm like anxious. It's just like a way to survive. It's a means of survival. I don't know why I get like choked up. Okay, I was hospitalized last semester, so I was here. So I transferred to Pitzer, and I was here for like a month and a half, and then I got hospitalized because I had a manic episode. So then my parents, my whole family really like tossed me into a psychiatric ward, and then I was there for a month, and then when I left, I was diagnosed with bipolar depression. I guess the turnaround for my parents was when I was hospitalized, and ever since then, that was like middle of last October to mid-November, and they've really come around to acknowledging mental health because of that. I think it really made them confront their own feeling towards mental health, and also just like, they always ask me now, like, have you taken your pills? Like, how are you feeling? And like, all that stuff. And it can be overbearing, but it's a complete 180 from where it was before.
If you could tell one thing to other Asian parents who have the same view as your parents previously had, and without having them forehandedly experience the trauma of having a child, you know, hospitalized into a mental institution, if you have like one thing to say to parents, what would you say?
Ting ni de haizi, which means like listen to your kids. With whatever I end up doing as a career, like I want to make sure like nobody ever feels like that. Like if I can even make sure that like one little Asian girl doesn't have to feel like that, I'd be happy.